Hello, my name is Lowell J. Maxey. I am commonly known around Bridgeport as LJ Maxey. I'm 62 years old. I'm retired from a career in law enforcement. 12 years with the West Virginia State Police as a criminal investigator, mostly in the drug arena, and about 23 years with the Drug Enforcement Administration here in the Clarksburg, West Virginia post of duty. My wife Amy and I have lived in Bridgeport for the past 25 years. I have 2 children, both of whom graduated from Bridgeport High School. My daughter still lives here in Bridgeport and has my 5 grandchildren, which keeps me focused. And I run a small business, LJ Maxey Consulting.
Okay, so let's go on to our next question. Bridgeport, obviously a rapidly developing place. If elected, what big development project would you push to get done, and how would you go about getting that project funded? You have 2 minutes.
Well, a lot of folks have talked about an indoor rec complex, and I'm certainly in favor of recreation and having recreational facilities available for our young people. However, I'm not one of those people who will I will have many questions about an indoor rec complex. So it would be many questions in regard to what its final cost is going to be, who it's going to service, who it's going to target to service, and how much it's going to cost to operate it in the future. That is probably the thing that is on most people's mind, and the project that has been talked about mostly for Bridgeport, that along with the a farmer's market and a visitor's bureau. So those are things that I think most people are talking about. However, I want to make sure that if we take on projects like that, the funding is going to be there, and it is not going to take away from other vital services that the people of Bridgeport will deserve and need, particularly in the area of public safety. So, those are certainly projects I'm sure that will be discussed, and that it seems that the current council has on their agenda. I will be open for discussion about those projects, and but I certainly want to know what they're going to cost and what they're going to, what the general revenue budget long term is going to what it's going to take from the general revenue budget long term.
Let's move on to the drug issue, something that you already have mentioned you have a lot of experience dealing with. Do you think we have enough police locally to fight this threat? Also, what about funding? Do we have enough of that for it? And if not, what do you think needs to be done to fix this? You have 2 minutes.
Well, certainly, having spent 35 years in drug law enforcement, I think I have a wealth of experience, and there are 2 drug task forces operational in the area currently. The one that the Bridgeport Police Department participates in is the Greater Harrison County Drug and Violent Crime Task Force, and I think it's been very successful, and there's never enough manpower working the drug problem, I think, and I certainly will be someone who will make sure that the resources are available to fight the drug problem, and I think that I have an insight as to the particular areas that we need to address in as far as the drug problem is concerned. And mostly right now what we're confronting is the prescription drug problem. And I think that if I'm elected to Bridgeport City Council, I think I can bring a unique experience to that particular issue. And it will be an issue that will be first and foremost, should I be elected. I am very concerned about what some of our young people are being exposed to, perhaps at the schools and in the community in general. And I'm certainly not one of those people who will be an advocate for legalization of any drug, whether it be marijuana or any other drugs. So I think I bring a wealth of experience to the problem and to that issue.
Next question. Bridgeport's been leading the way for quite a while now when it comes to the home rule program. Do you think the city has used home rule wisely so far? Do you support the program? Please explain your position. You have 2 minutes.
I think home rule can be something is beneficial to cities and has been beneficial to Bridgeport. And I think Bridgeport has, to this point, used home rule wisely, certainly in conjunction with some of the schools and projects that the schools have undertaken. However, more recently, there's been some discussion among the city administration and some folks on council about tinkering with civil service, both particularly for the police department and the fire department. And that's certainly something that I don't think is a good road to go down with home rule, and I'm not quite certain that home rule supports, the home rule state statute supports tinkering with civil service. But otherwise, I think there are there's a lot of opportunities to use home rule to benefit Bridgeport and even the surrounding area. So, you know, I am in favor of home rule, and I think it's been something that's been very beneficial to Bridgeport.
All right, let's move on to our last question. Our small businesses are just so important to our local communities. As Bridgeport continues to attract national chains to areas like White Oaks and Charles Point, what would you do to ensure our small business owners can compete and thrive in this environment? You have 2 minutes.
Well, I actually operate a small business. I operate a small business, LJ Maxey Consulting in Bridgeport, and I do contract investigative work for the federal government. So I'm confronted with all of the issues that a small business owner has to deal with. And you know, there probably are some things that we could continue to do to bring small business into the area. And by supporting small businesses, many of those that operate in downtown Bridgeport, I want to make sure that we don't overlook downtown Bridgeport and old Bridgeport, so to speak, and particularly a lot of small business owners for the sake of development in other places in the city, particularly like White Oaks and Charles Point. So I think small business is vital to not only to our local community, but small business owners in our state and our country are vital to you know, producing jobs for people to particularly start out a career. And so I'm very supportive of anything that will be an incentive for small businesses to open and continue to operate in Bridgeport. And like I say, I'm very aware of those things that a small business person confronts in operating, you know, in Bridgeport. And so I do want to make sure that we pay attention to downtown Bridgeport and that we don't forsake it for you know, development in other parts of the city.